It'll be one to go this time by. Coming to the green, buddy. Coming to the green. Let's go get him. Go, go, go. Dig, dig, dig. Go, 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 go.
Get your motor running. Head out on the highway.
We'll take 3 more questions. Joe Menzer, David Newton, Reed Spencer. Go.
Joe, the journalist, NASCAR.com. 2-part question. It's a joke, people. Lighten up. Jimmy got it.
Great. Plumber Joe. That's great.
2-part question. Sorry for that, too. First of all, you talk about how comfortable you are here at Martinsville and how you sort of have it figured out where a lot of guys don't. How long did it take you to get to that point, the comfort level? And also, as you get closer to possibly winning a 3rd straight championship, do you think more about exactly what that means in terms of history and all that stuff?
You know, I really haven't let my mind go on the 3rd championship. We're in a good position, but truthfully, only being halfway through the chase, anything can happen. And there's still 5 races to go. As we get closer to the end, it'll kind of run its course, and my mind will start playing games on me, and I'll think about those things. And I do appreciate and respect history and what's been done in the sport, and know that I have a chance to do something very, very special. And it's back in my mind deep somewhere, but I haven't let it out yet. You know, I feel that there are other things to worry about that are much more important, and week in and week out and gaining those points. So if we go to Homestead and we're sitting in good shape, I'll really think about it. I'm sure even if I go to Homestead and I'm not in good shape, then it will kick in, and I'll be like, man, reality's here. This is the final race. So I think at that point things will really kick in. But right now, anything can happen. And my comfort here at this track, what was the question exactly?
How long did it take you to get to that comfort level?
You feel comfortable when you're going forward. And I'd say my 2nd race here, I figured out how to pass people. And if you can keep moving forward, people are patient with you. If you're sitting there holding up a long train of cars, you know you've got something coming. So my comfort probably does change during the race, and as long as I'm going forward, I feel very comfortable and good about things. And if I'm holding guys up, that's when you worry. But I'd say the 2nd race, it really clicked for me here. I was following Stewart up through the pack, and there was just a rhythm about it that I didn't see and didn't understand, and it took following Tony to figure it out.
Okay, David Newton, Reed, and I'll fit 1 more in. Jimmy, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, Jimmy.
Dustin Long.
You had 8 wins in 2004. Do people remember that? And it's kind of like what Kyle's going to be going through now, where he is in the points. And will this season be remembered as a collapse or forgotten in history because of what's happened in the chase?
I can't say that we talked much about the 8 wins in 2004. You know, I look back at that and the fact that we lost the championship by 8 points and say that built a lot of character in our race team, to have it slip by. So I think moving forward, it'll be a defining year for that team, for Kyle. And, you know, obviously he's young, and the relationship he and Steve Addington have together and what that team can do, they'll be a champion at some point. And I think we'll look back on this season and say, you know, that was the one that got away, and have phrases that follow that. On top of that, I think we'll look back at all the races he's won, period, and say it's a pretty special year. I mean, he has nothing to be ashamed of. He's had an amazing year. I know that the ultimate prize is the Cup Championship, but he's had a stellar year. And first year with a new manufacturer, new team, he's going to be a serious threat for a lot of years.
Would you call it a collapse?
I don't know. It's been pretty bad, to say the least. I don't know if I'd use collapse, but I mean, it looks, I don't know. It's been pretty rough on those guys. They've had everything go wrong, from things on track to mechanicals to, you know, a bunch of crazy stuff. So it's been pretty bad for them.
Reed Spencer, and then finish with Dustin Long. Reed is in the green shirt right there.
Yeah, as a Chevy driver, I wondered if you had any reaction to talks of possible merger between General Motors and Chrysler, and what you thought the implications might be for NASCAR racing.
I saw something briefly on that, but I have not heard anything through our GM channels to know if that's true or not, and what that may due to motorsports. I think we're all sitting back wondering what's going to happen with the economy like it is and the auto industry like it is. So it might be I'm not sure if anything will happen there and what that effect would be, but I think we're going to see some big change in our sport, from the manufacturers to the economy side and sponsorship dollars, even the whole phase of going green and how we make our sport more green moving forward. So I think there's a lot of change for motorsports in general over the next few years.
Final question with Dustin Long, and then we'll let Jimmy retreat.
A couple things. One, you mentioned about testing earlier this week. I think you were at Rockingham, but they've got like the new half-mile track.
Yep.
And you talk about that facility, what that provides, what that's going to help teams prepare for. Is that going to become more of a test track? And secondly, earlier this week, Darrell Waltrip talked about his suggestion for the chase was to make it a 5-race chase, kind of make it almost like an NCAA tournament immediacy type of thing. What's kind of your thought about that, going from a 10 to a 5-race chase?
Hell, we're already confused as it is with 10. Now change it and make it 5. We're just getting the public to understand 10 races. I don't know, whatever it is. If it's 1 race, 5 races, 10, I'll show up and go like hell. I think 10 races works well personally. You still have to have consistency, but at the same time, you've got to have a fast car and win races. So I think it does a good job of motivating people. It does a good job of having teams take risks, drivers take risks. But at the same time, our sport, the seasons are long, the races are long. It needs to have an element of consistency involved, and I think 10 races is a good balance of that. The track in Rockingham was just finished. I think it was maybe 2 days finished when we got on it. It looks, it was intended to look a lot like Martinsville and kind of act like Martinsville. They still, to their credit, they did a great job, but it's brand new and it needs some work done to it. They need to grind some areas and smooth it out a little bit. There are no walls up. We blew a right front tire, and thankfully there were no walls, because I went flying out through this dirt field with, I thought I was going to end up on pit road where everybody's standing, to be honest with you. I'm coming through 4 and the tire blows, and there's nothing there. I'm like, this is going to be big. And luckily the ground was real soft and the car stuck and threw dirt all over the place. But, you know, it can be a tool, especially if they work on it and try to make it more similar to this track and not as rough. It could be a tool for teams to go test at. Neither, nothing. It's just an oval sitting out there with a few hay bales. I mean, it's really old school looking. But they just got the asphalt and concrete down. They still have a lot of plans to bring it along, but the fact that they built it to look be a lot like Martinsville, you know, we had to shoot over there and give it a shot and see if we could learn something to bring over here. It's kind of comforting. There's nothing to hit. It was comforting until a tire blew and I was heading towards pit road, and I thought, man, this could be really, really bad. And my transporter was the first one, so how cool would that be to blow a tire and go off the track and run into your own transporter? But it didn't happen.
Jimmy, thank you so much for your time. Good luck this weekend.
Yep, you got it.
Okay, an update again. In about 10 minutes or so, or less maybe, we'll have Mike Skinner and son Dustin Skinner in here. Excuse me, at 12:30. Jeff Gordon will come in.